morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio. So today, we're going to be looking at a new Silvally card. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting a new Silvally card, and I, for one, I'm a little bit excited. Now, I should mention our translation for this does come from the lovely Rappelmann TCG, as do a lot of our translations, but we do need to start off taking a little bit of a look here at the basics. And if we start off looking at the basics, we can see it's got 130 HP, which is fine. I mean, look, 130 HP is way better than 120, because it means something like a Zoroark won't get an easy one-hit KO, and that's really good. We really want 130 on our basics, not our stage ones, but beggars can't be choosers, ladies and gentlemen. Beggars can't be choosers. Of course, being a colourless Pokemon, it is weak to fighting. Weakness to fighting sucks, because it means you're sharing a weakness with Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX. It means all the Buzzwole running around will smash you, etc. This is far from ideal, as is a retreat cost of 2. Retreat cost of 2 sucks. There's just nothing good about it, as is the fact that you're a colourless Pokemon. Being a colourless Pokemon is a little bit rubbish as well. So, not loving the basics. Of course, this can combo very nicely with Silvally GX here, which is kind of nice. Although I should also mention those memory cards that Silvally has, they specifically mention GX. You cannot use any of these memory cards on Silvally to make it a different type. It's got to be the GX, Boo, Hiss, etc. So with that out of the way, what does it actually do? Well, according to the lovely David Hochmann, the first attack for a double colourless energy does 30 damage plus 50 more for each prize card your opponent took last turn. See where we're going with this, ladies and gentlemen? Do you see where we're going with this? Starting off, 30 damage for a double colourless energy on a Pokemon that's hitting weakness on nothing. It's not good. There is nothing particularly good or exciting or wonderful or amazing or brilliant about it. But if your opponent took a prize last turn, you're hitting 80. Now, to be fair, if you were hitting for weakness, you had a choice band, you're doing 220, that would work. But you're not hitting for weakness, it's a colourless Pokemon. And look, there are evolving basics, you'll get your Zorua and things of that nature, but generally speaking, we're not impressed. So it's not even just if your opponent took no prizes, but if your opponent took one prize last turn, this is not going to be a particularly exciting attack. But if they took 2 prizes, this is where we can start getting a little bit excitable. Because if they took 2 prizes, you're doing 130. Now, 130 is already enough to take out something like I don't know, let's say Buzzwole. We mentioned him earlier, Buzzwole. Or indeed another Silvally. But with a choice band, you're up to 160. Now, 160 will get Dedenne, and Dedenne is about to be extremely relevant when it comes out in Unbroken Bonds, which is very, very soon now. So, getting rid of Dedenne is going to be good. And then, of course, we still see a whole bunch of people who are playing Tapu Lele, and you won't immediately get a KO on a Tapu Lele, but you add a Shrine of Punishment, and you're up there. So you can get some KOs here. If your opponent took 2 prizes on the previous turn, you can make this work. Yes, it is a little bit of a pain that you need Choice Band, Shrine of Punishment, and that really above 170 is just out of your range, but you can get some prizes. But of course, there's a whole bunch of Tag Team GXs at the moment. And if you had a Tag Team GX KO, then your opponent just took 3 prizes. Unless it was a Darkness type Tag Team GX and you had a Black Market Prism Star out, in which case it'd be 2. But let's just assume it was 3. Well, now all of a sudden, this is starting to look very, very good. Because now you're hitting 180 damage for a single energy. And you then add a choice band, you're up to 210. But 210 is again a little bit of a weird number. Because on the one hand, 210 is enough to KO something like a Zoroark, and it's going to get a whole bunch of other stuff like Buzzwole GX or Lycanroc that you wouldn't have gotten before, but you're still not at Tag Team GX KOing territory, and remember, this is a colourless Pokemon, you are hitting nothing for weakness. So do a little bit of extra damage. Have a Tapu Lele. No, wait. Tapu Koko. Spreading a little bit of extra damage in the early game. Have Frogadier. That's a little bit awkward, but it could work. Have a Giratina, spreading a little bit of extra damage. Or just do 210 damage. It's not exactly like it's a bad amount of damage to do. At this stage, you will be KOing probably the majority of GX Pokemon, and you'll be getting all the non-GX Pokemon, but you're not really getting the tag teams here. Again, you're not hitting weakness. Were you hitting for weakness? Yay! But you're not hitting for weakness. It's a little bit sad. 210 is good. But let's take something like a Pikarom deck. They've got 240 HP. So let's say they take 3 prizes. You can now hit them for 210. That's not a KO. Now, if you've got Incineroar on your bench, Incineroar means that all your Pokemon do an extra 30. Now you're up to 240, but I just don't think many people are going to be playing Incineroar, not just as a tech line in a deck. I can see it seeing play, but not just as a 1-1-1 or a 1-0-1 with a couple of rare candy or whatever, just in a random deck. I don't see it happening. So you're a little bit short, which is a bit of a pain. And maybe they've got a Tapu Lele out, in which case, yay! Or maybe they've got a Dedenne, which is arguably more likely to be played because it's a lightning type, yay! Or maybe they're playing Jolteon EX. And if they're playing GX, maybe if they're playing Jolteon GX, then we can work with this because they've got 200 HP and you'll be getting a KO. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they've just got Pikarom out and a Zapdos or 2. And you can KO Zapdos, but you're only getting 1 prize out of it. And if you're getting 1 prize a turn after your opponent takes 3 prizes, that's how you lose a prize trade. Your opponent takes 3 prizes, you want to take 3 prizes. You do not want to be sat there taking 1 prize a turn after your opponent takes 3. That is a recipe for defeat, ladies and gentlemen. We're not fans. Now, the other reason we could look at Pikarom here, they could be taking 4 or even 5 prizes in 1 turn. Technically, they could take 6 by knocking out 2 GXs, but then they win the game and it's kind of pointless. And if they take 4 prizes, then you're hitting 230, 260 with a Choice Band, 270 with a Shrine of Punishment, and everything up to Celebi and Venusaur's going down here, though I don't know how Celebi and Venusaur usually takes 4 prizes in 1 turn. That's unlikely. And if they take 5 prizes, you're hitting 280, 310 with a Choice Band, and that's everything up to including Magikarp and Wailord. But, come on, it's unrealistic. The likelihood is here you can get a GX KO after your opponent takes a Tag Team GX KO, and you can get a non-GX KO the turn after your opponent gets a GX KO, although there will be turns you can get to Dedenne or Tapu Lele, and that's lovely. You're generally 1 prize less than them. And that's my worry here. That's what's got me concerned about this particular Pokemon. I'm not sure this first attack ever does quite as much damage as you would like. Generally speaking, it will do just enough to KO 1 below what your opponent KO'd last turn, and I'm not sure that's always good enough. Now, there is a second attack here, though it's far less exciting. 3 colourless energy, 120, discard an energy from this Pokemon. Now, it is all colourless energy, so remember how we talked about recycle energy just an hour or 2 ago? Well, recycle energy comes in nicely here, and if it would be discarded, it goes back to your hand. So you discard it, goes back to your hand, you can attach it next turn and keep attacking. Of course, one of the first things we did in this video was talk about how 130 is way better than 120, and here you're hitting 120. Zapdos, yay! But Boswell, boo. And there's plenty of others as well. It's not enough. You want to be doing 130. And for free energy? I mean, look, if I put that energy on a Silvally GX, I can be doing the same 120 while attaching a basic energy from my discard pile to one of my bench Pokemon, while taking advantage of memory cards to give myself weaknesses. So let's say, for argument's sake, I attach a fighting memory. Hey, all of a sudden, I'm now hitting weakness against Pikachu and Zekrom. I'm getting a 1-hit KO on Pikachu and Zekrom while accelerating an energy. Oh yeah, and I've got an ability that gives all my basic Pokemon free retreat. Make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think this is great when you compare it to Silvally GX. It's fine as a non-GX attacker. It can do decent damage for a double colourless energy. It's certainly a decent card. I don't think it's bad by any stretch. I think the second attack for free energy might be. But I don't think this first attack is bad. I think this first attack is fine. But I'm not sure it's quite good enough. Best case scenario, your opponent takes a GX KO and you're able to take down a Dedenne or a Tapu Lele to take 2 prizes. On turns where you can get that rolling, that's going to be awesome. Most other turns, let's just say I remain a little bit unconvinced. So let's go ahead and give it 3 Wassies. The kind of card you want to put in your binder, you might pop it into a deck, it could be kind of useful, but it's not going to set the format on fire. But I would very much like to know what you think about this. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! But please do remember the rule, ladies and gentlemen. Be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassiePlays, where we talk about games that don't have Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.